Seif base, which is quite a long Seif. And I believe that we got as far as we're talking about that test over here, we're on Chaf Aleph by Lamed.
Yeah,
we did this one. Yeah, we did this one. You're right.
We're already up to member. I wasn't feeling inside this morning, so I wasn't.
So basically, we're talking about what happens if for example, they see that that there's if they see that there's a fight going on there between them, or alternatively, they see that her agenda is really to collect on the ksuba.
Right.
Then you can't.
Either way, it shows that she would be willing to lie.
Right.
Either one of those things.
Right. So it's really
her own testimony.
It sounds
is
like
not quite as trustworthy
scenario, and it is a little bit. But really, it's the same idea. It's that it's breaking the chazaka that she's not going to have the foot before him.
Her testimony loses some legs.
So
Coca-Cola.
So we don't trust her to say that to be trusted that to say you divorced me. If after she says this, right? He's going by the simple by the basic scenario that everybody agrees that if she said, "You divorced me, now give me my ksuba," that implies very clearly, right? So then, she comes back to the court. The Amran says, "Gerashtani stam," without the ksuba part. And this time she doesn't mention the ksuba. She's still not trusted. Being that we already know what she's after, that her intention is that she's looking for the ksuba. So she's already not believed at all ever. Meaning it's not just spoiled it's spoiled her chazaka legamri in this matter.
This reminds me of when we're talking about also back to Rebbe's Basmakolov, in the definition of when you can ask Uman, like chef, like do you taste the milchig in the flesh, whatever, like, and the times when the testimony from someone who's not a yid, it has to be casual. If they know you're looking for something, then they might go for that. Because she has a specific goal in mind.
Right, we already know that
whatever she says is gonna bend towards that goal.
Right.
Like again, I want to bring up just the fact of that it's not necessarily it's not so like binary that it's black and white, like she's an outright liar and a thief or something.
Right.
It's just the fact is because she has this goal in mind, things are gonna be, skewed in that direction. It's the same thing as when someone's like Ehven, and all this stuff. It's not, you don't trust me, Rabbi. I trust you. But it's only natural that things are going to be skewed in that direction. So that means what you say about other things are affected by that, and I can't fully rely on it, especially when something so important like get a
once if he's in the Geber, he's in the Geber. So if he comes back and doesn't tell you about his being in the Geber, but you already know he's in the Geber.
Right, exactly. Then you'll see how things fit in context, especially when we talked about sometimes the bezin has to be that fifth volume Shulchan Aruch, use that fifth eye to watch things. Is everything okay over here, or is something else going on? Right.
So then the Haggah says yesh emrim. There are there's an opinion. That there's an opinion that says that listen, we don't separate the because what's happening here is also we're separating the financial aspect and the get aspect. There's an opinion that says that in any instance that we're allowing her to remarry, she also collects ksuba. V'yesh embrim and there's another opinion that in and menace the inumam club. There's another opinion that says we don't believe her when it comes to the money things at all. No, for that you need Aiden, whatever it is. We never believe her. We're only believing her.
She was actually divorced.
That probably goes in line with the one that says we're only believing her to require her to give a get also. So she also collects, according to there's one opinion, she also collects ksuba. Varambam Kosav. And the Rambam writes, Shechayev litin lo ikar ksuba. That he has to give her the basic ksuba, the main part of it. Avol ein noisna tisefes ksuba. But he doesn't give the addition on the ksuba until she brings a this even those that hold that she gets a ksuba, it only means the basic ksuba. But until she brings a proof that of a get, basically,
Right.
she doesn't get the tisefes. The Heavy b'Magid Mishnah b'Shem Arishonim shetam chiluku. So what's the Magid Mishnah says in the name of the early sages? What's the difference? Mipnei shal ikar ksuba yesh medrash ksuba v'chesheti nos ila acher titli mashakasav leifi. Right, because on the main ksuba there's a the way it's written, I guess. Is that when you go? Is that when you go and you're married to a different one, you'll take what's written to you. But in the additional part, it's not written like this, so therefore you don't collect on it. The ayin b'marik, meaning unless you get a proof. Whereas the other parts, she's marrying somebody else. Meaning and not only that, you're giving her a shus to marry somebody else. So if she can marry somebody else, she gets that part of the ksuba because that's the wording.
Clearly, yeah. I just wanted to remind myself who the Magid Mishnah was. Rabbeinu Vidal di Toulouse. We always hear about it in the context of the Rambam because he's like the main commentary on the Rambam. But yeah, just.
So, okay. The ayin b'maharik, mashikosav b'zeh. See what Maharik writes about it. Haezer Rabbi Magid. The gam nichsei tzayin.
So meaning, I guess the Magid Mishnah then continues and adds that nichsei tzayin barzel. Why is that so familiar? I don't remember what that phrase is. Nichsei tzayin barzel.
One which is eat more of the same food or some of the original food and or something.
It's a whole concept in halacha.
Right there.
Funny. It's halva. You have a bikading. So too with like collateral stuff, you don't bring it. But what are we talking about? How's that? I don't get what that has to do with.
Yeah, providing that all the original fluid are in the same state, you both get all solid, there's a lot of number of remains, and one is the different food that we
Okay, oh, here we go. I found someone who explains the Kollel. What's the difference between nifsei malug and nifsei barzel, especially in the context of ksubas, the 8th paragraph of ksubas. Nifsei malug refers to assets that a woman brings into the marriage, or which falls to her as in either inheritance or a gift after she was married, but they're not included in the value of the ksuba. This is something that's exclusively for the woman. Malug meaning like maliga, plucking. Her husband has rights to these assets, but may not use them up entirely. He also therefore need not replace anything that he uses. Nifsei barzel, on the other hand, refers to assets she brings into the marriage by way of a dowry, meaning she's only getting them because she's marrying him.
Right.
They're being set in stone, so to speak, refers to the fact, saying barzel, like it's in ironclad, as we say, an ironclad document. Right. So it refers to the fact that her husband may use as much of them as he wants, but that he'll always be liable to replace anything that he uses, and the assets in full will revert into her possession with his death or with his giving her a divorce.
So that's.
Say here, we're saying, so not only the ksuba money and anything,
But
also
but
the
even-
Barzel,
right,
like we're
it
saying,
does,
he
right.
thinks he has to pay it back now, he has to replace
So
it.
see, so the Rabbi Magid says there that even that the Nitzitz in Barzel, she does not
Without proper proof.
Right.
I'm saying at this point.
right.
None of this is saying forever. We're just saying
allowing her
right
to
now.
marry. We're allowing her
Right
to
now.
marry.
It's enough that she can get remarried, but it's so fascinating to me that like
Right.
none of you get remarried, so much so they're so separated. We're saying that she can get totally remarried, but for these other financial elements. And it's not because what's fascinating, I think what's being brought out here, it's not because there's anything lacking in the division of these two people. These two people are being totally separated. The fact is that she can go marry somebody else. They're separate. It's more about, like we said, the testimony when it comes to financial matters, things that get affected that way. So,
Right, and really.
I think if anything, it's almost like a protective knas. Like,
And really the main.
no, you're not gonna, by doing this, you're not getting any money.
Right.
You're not gonna get your money.
Not just.
So it then
No,
assures us that the only thing
the
that's being
main part of the
testified.
ksuba, really, she also wouldn't get. But what? Because the wording is such that it says if you marry another man, here we're allowing her to marry another man.
So
Marry
then
another man,
clearly
she gets it.
The base ksuba amount is amount, but all these other details
All these
to
other
make
ones-
sure that she's not
Right.
trying to mess around financially,
Right.
that then protects that her self-testimony is pure and not
Right, for those things, she needs.
yeah.
Yeah, you-
a little bit other things of any sort of tesefes to the ksuba, which what kind of steps is like the way people do today in this day and age, like a prenup, where like they'll just throw in extra things to be nice. So to be like, oh, because I love you,
They make it up
I'll give
here.
you the house in the Hamptons,
Right,
and
could be a bigger ksuba, yeah.
it's like just adding random stuff because I like you.
It's
Whatever.
not the primary, what is it, 200 zuz and whatever.
You can have the Lamborghini 3 times a month, and it's more than the base amount. I guess what I'm saying is Lamaisa, like, did they do stuff? Is that what they did? Like, you just put in random stuff, or is there like,
I'm not sure. I don't know how that works.
does anyone do it?
Nowadays, she's gonna come take you for half of your stuff anyway, so.
Well, depends on the state, depends where you live.
My question is, the court decides she gets half of your stuff, right? Plus you owe her child support
Okay.
and alimony, right? She gets 75% of your stuff.
Right.
Do you still owe her the 200 zuzim, or is that,
Within the,
or is that, right?
that's
Included in
covered
it?
in the alimony or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're right, gave you.
Right. It's funny, yeah, I don't know. Other halachic things, like Meiser or whatever, it's after, like you don't take Meiser off your gross. Your Meiser amount is your net, meaning after you paid your taxes and other things, and even lots of bills, like the halach of the trim is a Meiser.
Come on, the difference is that's money you're not getting. I'm saying here, it's a flat amount, he's to give her, and he's giving it to her, but he has to give her anyway for another reason.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know if it's comparable, but I'm just saying, we do see in other areas of Allah, when we calculate what amount a person owes, has to pay off,
Right.
it's sometimes
see that
it's
there's-
net, not like these other
Yeah.
things calculate into that. So I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't learned the halakha
Anyway,
yet. We're
but
learning the halakha.
Yeah,
Maybe find out.
We'll find out.
Get a-
The Ravid, he said al Rambam. The Ravid doesn't agree with the Rambam in this case. That he says she'ein l'chalik ben ikar ksuba l'tisefes ksuba. We don't differentiate. She gets the ksuba, that means she gets the ksuba. And I guess he would hold also that the nichsit zayin bar is also.
Right.
V'yesh eiminim the einen amenes inyan mammon. Some say she's not trusted for money. Kain das Ravid. This is what the Ravid says. Meaning when the Ravid doesn't differentiate between the main and the way, he's not saying give her both, he's saying give her none. Shekosav shalai amru namenes loyli inin shetinasi lechatchila. Right, that he holds that you don't that in the first place you don't let her marry. Right, just that you don't make her divorce if she's married already. And loyalik b'subasan, she does not collect don't collect 200. Elul inyan she teisvin bo kiddushin b'diavad. Just that b'diavad, if she got married, the kiddushin are valid, even though she shouldn't have done it. The Chain Hevi Rashba, so too the Rashba brought B'Shem HaItur in the name of the Itur, Shekosov de Lachukim Amuna Loim Mehemna, that when it comes regarding money, which is not trusted. And he doesn't darshan this medrash ksuba, that it's because it's written that when you marry another man and everything. They also talk about the same. Gimel, Seif Gimel, woohoo! Don't worry, we're gonna be a while on Seif Gimel too. A woman who her husband goes overseas. And they testify about him that he died.
If, however, the brother will decide with specific.
So now is where we start getting into agunis, I guess.
So no, the brother.
Afilu eid echad, even one witness. Afilu ha'eid eved shivka, even a man slave or a woman slave.
A maid or a butler.
Yeah. Oy isha. Which is funny because why if shivcha then Allah can come isha. Why does he bring isha? It's a funny thing to bring, no?
Yeah, what is that?
Maybe we'll talk about
There's
it.
gonna be a.
I'm guessing because the weird thing.
There's
You already,
a
told me,
Zion on
you
it.
already told me shivcha, so why didn't you tell me now a woman? You already told me a maidservant.
Okay, no, I just can't. I can't wait. I'm sorry. I'm impatient like that.
No.
So then Brewer says, "Va'afa isha atzma ne'emenes lemer shemeis baila."
Isha.
She can say her husband died.
Right. Meaning,
She like we were camping by ourselves.
meaning, read
A
it.
bear ate him. Like
Meaning, read it like there's a hate.
the wife.
Yeah, meaning,
Not a random
right.
wife. We don't mean a random woman.
Isha just means a woman.
Right.
It should say really
Or a wife. A wife. But no, we're saying the wife.
Right.
Meaning she says
Right.
we were on a boat trip, just the two of us.
Right.
and-
I cut it or another relative also.
Yeah.
Muteres. No, she can go and marry somebody else. She's now a widow. Va'afilu eid mipi eid. Isha mipi isha. Ever they shifka ikarev. Even if it's one of these heard from the mouth of another. Kshedim. They are kasher. For testimony in this particular matter. As we know that these people, not all these people that we mentioned, are not kosher for eidos, generally speaking. And on the bright side, it's not the. If you want to get into the Allah, you can have it's a major.
I have a printing mistake.
What is it?
You don't have it. It's a printing mistake, just some smudges.
Oh, it's not somebody tried to circle something.
This is brand new farm you bought. What do you mean?
I know, but who knows?
No, it's no. It's a random because
Yeah,
it's not like different paint.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
not
a
the-
random. It's a random printing mistake. It's okay.
that's how we know it's your. What is it?
It's real.
Okay, Upsuli Eidos. Now, so these are people who are usually not allowed to be witnesses because of, meaning not because of like anything they did or anything. What's it called? It's because they're either a servant or they're related or they're not enough Eidim. However, how about Psuli Eidos? Right, Psuli Eidos would be somebody who's not allowed to be a witness. For example, let's say like somebody who plays cards.
Ooh, gambling.
Yeah, or gambling.
Go to Vegas.
Or right, which also there was a question. It had the people who fly birds and stuff. There was a question there.
It
Is
was
it
like a whole sport or something.
Well,
bet on.
There was two opinions there that one said
Singing the Gemara.
Right.
in Shulchan Aruch. One said that it's talking about people who race birds, and the other one is like people who keep these coops of pigeons and stuff, something like that, and they do things to attract the birds from other people's pigeons. That really those pigeons are wild pigeons, so not really in the it's not really they're not a thief really, because technically you didn't steal it. It's not that guy's property. You can't make a kinyan on a wild. Right. Anyway, there's different things, and some of the people who are puzzled from the Torah, and some are puzzled with the Rabbanim.
Some are under a chedem, kashrei. Like let's say, like I'm saying, talking about like a get refuser, and the Bezdin puts out a whatchamacallit, you're not allowed to forget what it's called, you can't give them aliyahs and all these things. Is Avis one of the things that they get affected by? I mean, that's also.
I don't remember. I remember. It was like a year ago.
Put it in the comments, whoever's watching.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
and there's certain things that are minat Torah are possible edus,
Right.
and there are certain things that are midrabanan possible edus. So, what if it's a possible ed? Im psulim midrabanan kshedim leidus there. If they are possible only from because of rabbinically, they are not fitting to be witnesses in a court, they're still good for this.
Completely possible for everything.
Then how are we gonna do? The
Rabbanan be like, I know my edus is normally possible, but I saw this, so.
Even them, even them, if they're giving it over, how do you say levitumam? Like
naturally. So what we were talking about before, like I talked about the chef and stuff.
Right? They're giving if they're giving it over.
Oh, live stream, yeah. Don't complain on the live stream.
Don't watch. Oh, what do you mean? It'd be a lot more fun.
This is our cover, so we have every day.
Who's joining you?
It's the live stream all over the place.
Sometimes people watch it, some people don't.
There's another shir going on at the same time. This minute Pittsburgh is to protest when people have concurrent, different things are making a call.
But you should. But you should protest it. You should protest here because they'll get upset if you protest. So protest here.
So if you're gonna protest somewhere, like
protest here.
Over here, we're not gonna call the national.
You might as well protest like people who are gonna enjoy such a thing.
It's even worse. Not only about at the tables where the share used to even happen. Oh, it's even worse.
Yeah.
By the way, tonight later, Shlomo Silverman's birthday. He's hosting the other one. Kollel one tonight because it's his birthday, so it's for begging.
Wasn't it that? Was it on the?
It was on the thing he said, and come to the. It was on the chats, and then he said, "Stay for begging."
In his house?
At his house. Yeah.
You want to go?
I gotta go for the Bachram tonight.
Really?
After Ma'ariv, yeah.
Right.
Levi and the Shulchan came for Shabbos, and they're like, "Have you come for praying for the Bachram? That's what they said." So I'm going right after Ma'ariv. But then afterwards, I'll head over. Anyway, okay. Anyway, so like we were saying, it's something that naturally comes up in conversation, right? So then you can rely on that,
right?
What's interesting is
meaning he wasn't intending to give testimony, but just it came up casually,
right?
So to a non-Jew, Israel Mumar,
heretic,
right? He's a heretic. He went over to idol worship.
What's interesting is B'dafka Mumar, so meaning not an atheist, not an agnostic. We're saying B'dafka someone who's serving a different Avodah Zarah. I wonder if there's what to be.
There's a whole thing. I think it
comes
from Tanya. Is that not Lahalach Navir, but essentially an atheist is worse.
Mm-hmm.
Because
there's the whole thing like the Rebbe talks about in general, like I'm saying, the two different guys who you put on tefillin with. There's the guy who's going to argue back with you and he's yelling at you and he's like, "You're the problem with Judaism today. Everyone hates us because of you guys." Like that guy with the Mendel with the bus story on the train. You guys, why do you hear religious people have to get us Jews in trouble? Then there's the other guy who's like, "Sure, I don't care." It's just total apathy.
Right.
Rebbe says the major benefit. The guy who's yelling at you, there's passion there. You got to direct that passion, and then boom, like the story of Dal today, the guy with the horse. Okay, you just put it back and you'll be right back on track. The guy who's apathetic, he's cold. To start a fire is so much.
My friend Tomer wrote him. He's a shliach in Ecuador, people Ecuador.
His name is Tomer Rotan.
Yeah.
So his name is palindrome.
His name is That's
hilarious. I love it.
And it's spelled
And it's spelled that way too. Wow, that's awesome. I love that.
So Tomer wrote him to the point where I tell people when I tell Israelis about this, like you're
joking.
Like it's a guy from a cartoon, right?
You have dyslexia? Like what's
Tomer wrote him? And I know you know that's his name.
That's funny.
Anyway, he's shliach in Ecuador. He was also on shlichus. We were in Russia together, in Ukraine together for a little bit.
You guys learned shkita together?
Yeah. So we learned in Bukhari in shkita. And then how it was, I think he went to Peru to Sheikh Gassis. And then he started learning some Spanish, whatever. In the end, so he went to Ecuador.
That's cool.
Anyway, he said the people in Ecuador, they're so far removed from it It's not like the Russians. He said the Russian, right? The second the Russian blows up at you, you know you got him.
Right.
I got you. Right? You're
Right.
just these people, okay, whatever. He said it was so hard because there's nothing to work with. There's nothing to it's just
Yeah.
in the case. So
So he's a heretic to Avodah Zarah and against the whole Torah. He rejects the whole Torah.
Right.
So maybe that would include an
so all
atheist.
these people, so including a guy or a Jew who's a shmad, all these things. If he's giving over, not his plan, he's giving over to give testimony.
You see a TikTok video,
But it just,
he's talking about how he saw a plane, he died.
Yeah, well,
It's
you
a
were
TikTok
right.
video.
Or the videos where the guy he's talking about what happened in his unit and whatever.
Yeah.
And then the Sarge came and what's it called, this and that, and then my buddy's name, this he was from Pittsburgh, whatever, and you're like
So many questions.
a lot. Right? So that's good.
No,
I got
just questions.
If a witness does not come forth in these aforementioned ways, Kollel Eretz Hatzvi.
A rumor.
Yeah.
That's how they translate it.
So a rumor spreads in the city that he died.
A voice spreads. I love the little translation. Habara means to spread. Like
I wonder if it's like Mavir. No, because that would be Havara with an iron, right?
I don't know what that is.
Maybe like Ovar, like a voice that passes from person to person. That's how it's a rumor. A rumor is a voice.
Would that also be
Kollel.
with an iron?
It's a Kollel. That's
A voice goes in?
no. Yeah, yeah.
Past tense, over. Anyway.
Yeah, but I guess you do that. But yeah, a burning voice. No, that's Mavir.
Yeah, that's also. I'm gonna do Google Translate. I'm just curious. But anyway, so a rumor goes out.
A pit voice.
A
female.
Yeah, it's the one down at the
right. Anyway, if this rumor goes out,
rumor.
anyway, so what happens? In Masianis Ishta, you cannot marry his wife. It does not work. It's not good enough.
Stam rumor that so and so died. That ain't good.
That
That's
doesn't
not
help.
that.
It has
That's
to
not
be
either.
that somebody- right.
That's just a rumor.
Right.
Interesting. It's also the word for syllable in modern Hebrew, at least.
Oh, like what's it called? Like, okay, so Ehven Bruder.
The protocol was decided on
Isha,
a lesser important.
right? It says Isha, a woman. We didn't even learn anything. This is Isha, a woman who he comments already. Ben Gedela Ben Kitano. What kind of woman are we talking about here? That her husband goes and doesn't come back. Whether she is a major, a minor, or a seventh, right? Whether she's an adult or a minor. Where she's whether she's like
she's deaf or she's totally she can see and hear or not.
Right.
The opposite.
Pikach means right.
Open.
Means it means
they can see and hear.
all of her senses are about. All of her senses are working. V'yesh me'arishenim shekosav she'im he's a kena ve'ena bas bonim im kain ena yira mikilkul. There's no fear from.
So what's going to be the problem? There's nothing that's going to stop. It's not going to. So what? She's going to go get married and have a mamzer? Like
no. Imiter shehechmarta aleh b'seifa hekalta aleh b'tchilas. Because you were stringent on her in the end, so you were. It ends up.
I don't get what that's supposed to mean.
Meaning this that you're being this in other words, this that you intended to be a chumr end up being a kula. I'm not sure.
Yes,
right. So I'm not sure why yet. So there is a svara to be careful and not to trust her.
So it says, Bir Halach, what is it? Check out the Bir Halach Yud Beis, which is later, I think. Yeah, in under Eid Echad, in Brura. Okay. And of course, then Brura says, look back and then, hey, okay, but that's something else.
Maybe it means that she's not afraid of becoming pregnant. And therefore, what is she gonna, you know what I'm saying?
Given the incentive or opportunity, he would rather be. Given the thorough and.
Okay, here. So it says, Hini b'daf Pei Zayin b'Beis Beichas Amad Aleph Shekol v'Taru Minalon the Eid Echad Meheman Lahor Leisha Shemeis Baila. Well, b'Seif Amar Rebbe Zeir the time Teich Chemer Shehach Meres Allah b'Seifa Hakalas Allah b'Tchila. V'Hikshu Loi Lichmir V'Loi Leikel V'Hishiv Mishem Iguna Akilu Ba Rabbanan. I still don't really fully understand that. Okay. No mind, I'm just gonna quickly look that up. Yeah, nice. Zion. Base. Probably at the bottom because then it says and Peichas Samad Aleph, so that means. What's going on? Safari is working today. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Right.
What? We were just talking about Yavan, so.
That's not. That would be a that you're not getting up when you tend to eat.
No, he's talking about a sin. Oh, I guess because it's about 8 echad. Eating chalev. Okay.
Oh, here, right here. Look. It's in the Bir Halacha. Right here. Look, Be'edus Isha Shemeis Baila, Kilu Rabbi Seinu Chach Mea Mishnah. Talmud Chelis Rabbis, Vechmiru Chumris Rabbis. There's a lot of different, both Kulis and Chumris, right? Stringencies and leniencies, right? Well, by Gemara, and the Gemara knows numbers the klal. They made a general rule. Shehekelu b'seifa eidos v'lei b'tchilas eidos. That they're lenient in the end of the testimony and not the beginning of the testimony. Sham Rashi. So Rashi explains, what does that mean? I guess after they did all the research, they tried to find whatever they could proof they could find first. And this is all you can find in the end. Then you go with it. Then you make it.
You can rely on that.
Yeah.
These backups, so to speak.
And what's the beginning of the edus?
Okay, I just found the Gemara by the
So what's the beginning of the edus? This is seeing the mace, seeing the deceased. That in this they weren't lenient until you're gonna recognize them very good.
Right. Okay, so this line though, I just wasn't understanding this wording of like because we're being strict and the yes for the whole so this is I think from the Reb Zera quote. He says due to the stringency that you were stringent with her, meaning a woman who married on the basis of a single witness, what we were just saying in the last halacha, was based on Eid Echad. So at the end, if it turns out that testimony was incorrect and her husband is still alive, the Eid Echad was wrong,
right?
The halacha is very strict with her, and she loses out in all regards. She has to divorce both of them. So that's why hekalta leha batchila. So you're leaning with her at the beginning by accepting the testimony of a single witness to enable the woman to marry. Because she's getting to lose out in the end if everything goes sideways, that's why we're nice to her to allow it in the first place. The reason we
Right.
let an Eid Echad be enough to free her up to get married,
Yeah.
if in a Guna situation, is because if we are wrong, she's going to lose out. So with risk versus reward, because it's a huge risk, she
Right.
might end up being divorced from both of them. So we let it be Mekel. So that is the whole thing of the Gemara says. So then the Gemara says, so then fine.
So what does that have to do with the nation's
then law leiko. So don't be stringent in the end.
Right.
And don't be lean at the beginning. So then we won't fall into this place. It's 2-8, and then she won't lose out.
Right.
Why? Because Mishum Iguna Akilu Baraban. Because of this situation where a deserted wife, it's not always easy to find two witnesses, which is that's what we're talking about here. That's why it comes up here. So the Chachamim realized if we don't accept an Eid Echad, the woman would be stuck. It's very likely. Chances are, statistics, it's very rare you're going to have two witnesses, so she's going to be stuck. So, but to prevent this kula from causing a lot of mistakes and people taking advantage of it and licentiousness, so they're very machmir with her in a case where the testimony is to be found. Basically, the Gemara says both ways. Don't be making the beginning and don't be so strict. Why'd she have to divorce both of them? Being practical, saying, hey, it's not easy to find two witnesses to establish these things. So fine, we'll let one Eid Echad. But we don't want a lot of mistakes to be happening all the time. It's only one Eid Echad, and he didn't see it right. And secondly, people can take advantage of it. So okay, so that's why we're very machmir in the end of it.
Right.
So here with the old lady, where even though she's old, she can't have kids, so we're not worried that things could get messed up. What mom's is going to get messed up? What's going to happen already? But like about time,
You're right. You're not because it's not like the rest of like a lot of these things here, where if you make a mistake, you're causing generations of mamzerim to marry into right. It's a huge problem. Here, what's right?
So that's why so we don't bring this whole
we
reason
don't
because
have
she's going to lose out later because she's not going to lose out. Also, I think not just with the mom, I would say not just with the mamzer thing. Because she might be dead by the time someone shows up to prove that this Eid Echad was wrong. She's already old. How much time do we have? Like that, I think it's more that. Like if any, like that's what it's.
So therefore, you're on the same.
So we're not. So
be Mekel by.
So then we can be Mekel. So yeah, Yeshvar Lachosh
Right.
And then we should be careful because
the Yesh Me'achreim shekot the Ma'isa in the Chelik was ever stam Eid Echad. However, there are from the Achreinim who wrote that practically speaking, we don't differentiate.
I don't know what kind of iguna.
Right.
These are the rules.
These are the rules for
the rabbi set up this formula with iguna. And this and that.
V'yesh la'atira. Gam kasher ina bazbonim. Even if she can't have children already, she's too old to have children.
Still, an Eid Echad could be enough to mutter.
Now, how about a prutza, a loose woman?
She's a woman of the streets.
A loose woman, yeah. Im yesh la'atira. Is there room to be matter to allow her to marry? Kishba aid. So what if it's a witness? Or what if she's the one who's the witness? Like we said, usually a woman is trusted. Is boy if mem gimel. We will learn this later in 43.
Meaning the Evan Burrs, hey, do I love shemes? And just further down the page. Or you think it means in the halacha? Sif mem gimel.
I think he means here.
Oh, okay.
I think.
I'm just looking at his mem gimel is very short. It doesn't cover it.
Yeah, it's in this
meaning. Okay,
so
in 47 from now.
Yeah. Well, on the bright side, we only go till 10, and then we skip to like 16 to something, and then something to something, whatever. So we don't do all 43. Not I don't mean we as in Jewish people we don't learn all 43
in this semester
in this program
curriculum.
This our curriculum. So we are not going to get tested on all of these certain ones. There's those who write the other way around. That by an aguna who's young and soft in years, that she's in a hurry to get married, right? Because she's young, she needs to have children all day. There's room to be more lenient than with the regular woman. And even the Chatchila, we hold by her like we do like a video like a video situation like if it happened. But Paiskin Sirfus but also Lasnif Heti. The Paiskin they combined his sweater into like a group to be matter. Whatever. I guess they're leaning towards agreeing with him. Le Medina Sayyam. He goes to a country of the sea. Right? He goes overseas. Stam Medina Sayyam Hainu Makim Rachik. When he says Medina Sayyam, Lavdaf doesn't mean an ocean. Like for
Oh,
example,
sorry, I was waiting for this to load, and yeah, I don't think we're even gonna get tested on that Sif Bechlal.
which
We're only going
not
till
again,
Sif Chavches,
oh
and then Chazar Bechinas.
really?
We're not even gonna get up to
Oh, so
Mendel.
going like
Alpha Yud Tesvav, then Tesayin through Chav Gimel, and then Chav Dalet through Chavches. Yeah,
we might actually get there.
we're not even. Speaking of getting there, it's 9:44.
Oh,
We're about
we're
to
there. We're
gotta
there.
go to my.
Okay.
All right, so what are we up
We're
to?
up to Membase.
Membase.
Steve Cotton Membase.
Emperor and Bays. Shukach, everybody.